Thank you so much. And I'm really proud to have Mayor-elect Heigl with us today. This is wonderful. So you get to hear about what Operation Lifesaver does and what we want to be able to do in Sylacauga. And thank all of you for coming in to be of ears. So we appreciate that. I appreciate the work that they've done this morning, helping put everything together. So Operation Lifesaver is a national nonprofit public education program dedicated to reducing death and injury at railroad crossings. And I bet I see him coming down the hall. Yep. Hi, Mayor.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Come on in. I was just doing a little
I'm sorry
intro.
I'm late.
No, it's okay.
I was informed about 9:30 that we had a meeting this morning.
Well, you did good.
Well,
Come on in. Have a seat. So,
got a bunch of people here, don't we?
would you like to say anything?
No, just, you go right ahead.
Okay. Okay. So Operation Lifesaver, we're strictly nonprofit public education. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary, and to do something special for that, we decided to do a 40-city rail safety tour. So Department of Transportation and all the railroad partners, we sat down several times to try to nail down the cities that we wanted to visit. And Mayor-elect had asked, what was some of the criteria? And of course, railroad track. Then we looked at traffic volumes of vehicles and trains. Lots of different things, but Sylacauga, you're number 32.
Number 1 in our heart, number 32 on the list.
Yeah.
How's that? You like that? No, you're running pretty thing.
Yeah. The placement on the list doesn't have anything to do with how much we love the town. And one thing too, last June, for the very first time, come on in. For the very first time, we had a rail safety day here in Sylacauga down at Bluebell Park. And we do that because the mayor several years ago, and the governor several years ago, you're welcome to come on in. No, it's okay.
Hey, Steve. Good.
Okay. So the governor several years ago declared June to be Rail Safety Month. So we had 4 cities that we would visit every June, and we didn't have any cities on this side of the state. So we picked Sylacauga. We had our first one, and hope to be coming back this coming June. Want to build it up and get more people out, have a real community festival type atmosphere, and learn a little bit about rail safety. But back to the tour. We wanted to do something special, so we chose these 40 cities, and since the middle of April, we've been crisscrossing the state, literally crisscrossing the state many times. But it's been wonderful because we've been able to meet, on kind of a grassroots level, reconnect with mayor and different people in the offices, police and fire. And we want to be able to tell you what we can do for you. Operation Lifesaver, like I said, we're public education. So how can we help the city? Do you have people that are assigned city vehicles? You got police and fire, EMA. We offer special training for emergency responders, and it's free. There are also the continuing education points attached to those classes. Your schools, your businesses, civic groups, any organization, we will go to that organization and do a safety presentation. And you may be thinking, what's the deal? Why are you doing this? Maybe what are some of the results? Well, when we started 40 years ago, the first 10 years, there were over 2,800 crashes, injuries, and deaths. The last 9 years, there were 896. Huge drop. Sounds great, doesn't it? And it's almost to the point, well, if you've done that, why are you, going all over the state? Well, because we're number 6 in the nation for the number of vehicle train collisions. Our little state. That puts us right up there with Texas, California, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, bigger states. But we're number 6 in the nation. We're number 14 for the number of deaths in those crashes. So this is why we keep doing what we do. We want to reconnect with the local government, the community, and we want to be able to bring this message to the people of Sylacauga. And these are just ways that we can help bring that message. The media will be able to share the information. For department heads in Sylacauga, if you want to have a meeting, we could sit down, look at presentations that you would like to have. Police and fire, you want to have some training, specialized training, all you got to do is get in touch with me. We're going to do everything we can to put those classes together for you. So we remind people of things like at 55 miles an hour, a 100-car freight train needs 1 mile to stop. The brakes go on, and it's going to be a mile down the track before that train can stop. So many people don't know that. The train is actually, because it's so big, it's actually closer than it looks, and it's moving a little faster than it looks. So we want to remind people, don't take a chance. And the number one thing is never drive around the gate. This year we've lost 3 people driving around the gate. And I've already heard that sometimes there's frustration with the gates being down and no train, and that happens. But this is the thing that's the most important. Never drive around that gate. I don't care where you're going, what the issue is, your life is worth the wait. The people in your life that love you and care about you, they don't want you to drive around the gate. Operation Lifesaver, I don't want you to drive around that gate. So we're just trying to, like I say, reconnect, get our name and our mission out there for you to know that our goal is going for 0. I'll work myself out of a job if I can keep people from getting killed and injured at railroad crossings. They don't have to happen. They really do not have to happen. Trains don't run on schedule. So you should expect to train all the time, anytime. And then our new motto, see tracks, think train. That's what we want to try to remind people about, is to when you see tracks, think train. Expect there to be a train. Slow down on the approach in case you have to stop. We just don't want anybody hurt or any injuries. Elizabeth, would you like to say anything? This is Elizabeth Lawler with Norfolk Southern Railroad.
Thank you, Nancy. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here today. A couple of things I want to add to what Nancy just said. If you notice, she kept talking about collisions, incidences, crashes. She never said accident. Accidents are something that happened that could not necessarily have been prevented. All of these type incidences can be prevented by the driver being responsible and being alert. No distracted driving, no trying to race to beat the train. The best you can hope for if you're racing a train, even if you tie, you're going to lose. So we never refer to them as a vehicle train accident. They're not an accident. The train has a right of way, it has the tracks, it does not leave that path 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
And it's up to the vehicle driver to make that good, smart decision that they're not going to be able to beat that big train coming at them. So they are considered collisions, they're considered incidences, they're never called an accident. Another item of concern that even draws more attention today than vehicular crashes and incidences is trespassing. Part of Operation Lifesaver is educating people about the dangers of walking on our train tracks. And now a big trend, if you're on Facebook and you see all these beautiful senior portraits of these lovely young men and lovely young ladies graduating from high school and college, is to get a photographer to take their picture in this beautiful train track setting with beautiful trees, a canopy of leaves. That is illegal. It's private property, it's trespassing. And we have young people killed on the train tracks every year from that very situation. RVs, little four-wheelers running up and down because it looks like a great place because you're not going to run into vehicular traffic. It must be safer. It is not. The biggest concern we have are young people and teenagers walking on our train tracks with iPods or music MP3 players with their ear pods and they've got that volume cranked to the max. They never hear the train horn. Unbelievable they've got their music up that high. We see it all the time. We see people that are exercising and using our rails to do push-ups on it, never get out of the way. And like Nancy said, it takes at least a mile for that train to come to a complete stop. Please keep in mind there are 2 human beings in the cab of that locomotive that once they hit that emergency brakes, they have an emergency brake button, and all they can do is stand there and watch it happen. In slow motion, here they come, and they can do nothing to stop it. So it's a concern for us, the mental health and well-being of our crews, the safety of the public, drivers, teenage drivers. She mentioned doing presentations to high schools. She loves doing presentations to driver's ed students. When you get them at 15 and 16, before they actually begin driving or as they're beginning to learn the rules of the road, giving them a good, healthy respect for what the crossbuck sign, the big X that says railroad crossing, what that actually means, what the lights and the gates mean, is so critical for them to be a safe driver going forward. I work with Norfolk Southern Railway. I'm Vice President for Government Relations in Alabama. I'm available. I work with your legislative delegation in Montgomery, and I try to be a resource for them on anything ranging from industrial development opportunities in the area, as well as block crossing situations, as well as lights and gates and how you get those installed. Alabama Department of Transportation is responsible for determining which crossings get that kind of protection, and they're responsible for paying for it. Try to help them through some of those issues. Came up here recently on some other issues related to communication towers. Glad to be a resource for them as it relates to railroads in general. Proud to be a good sponsor. We love coming into communities and doing the education side. We would rather come here and do this as a preventive measure rather than my having to come back because there has been a crash or an incident. So thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for your public service. First responders, thank you. And mayors, thank you for your service to the folks in Sylacauga.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now, she mentioned the gates. When the gates are down, the lights are flashing, the road is closed. Please don't make the mistake, though, in thinking that that makes it a safe crossing. The best piece of safety equipment at the crossing is the driver of the car that's paying attention, they're not distracted, and they make the right choice. So please help us. Police, you see people on the tracks, help us get those folks off the track so the fire department doesn't have to go and work such a horrific incident with trespassers. So
another example, Nancy, I know Steve's here with Alabama Power. She would love to come in and visit with your employees that drive your company trucks and do a presentation for them. Any of your major industries that has their own fleet, that's an awesome opportunity for us to do some education.
I was in Calera Tuesday at the power company building. So yes, all of your offices, anywhere, we want to come be part of that safety. So does anybody have any questions for me or Elizabeth?
You've got a few more of these books.
Yeah.
For anyone that wants a little bit more information about the cities that we have visited, here are some of our booklets right there.
Mayor and or Mayor-elect, do you have anything you'd like to add? Any questions that you have for us?
No, we appreciate you coming and we've enjoyed it. And, we hopefully it'll do some good.
We hope.
Railroad safety tour you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, or the railroad company, or our crossings satisfactory as far as the railroad's responsibilities?
I don't have anything to do with that.
Okay.
I'm strictly public education, and I do not work for a railroad. I work for Operation Lifesaver. On the bottom of this banner, you'll see BNSF, CSX, Genesee and Wyoming, ALDOT, and Norfolk Southern. These are our partners. Even though I don't work for a railroad, they really like what we do because they don't want their crew to have to go through the trauma of a crash, and they don't want to hit anybody. So these are partners, and this tour would not have happened to the level that it has, that it's just been amazing without their help. I couldn't do this, completely on my own. And the support from my board, support from the different partners has actually made this happen, so.
To your comment, the Alabama Department of Transportation has a rails division that's all they do is deal with railroad issues, whether it's overpasses or public grade crossings. They are the ones that determine the adequacy of the crossing as it relates to what kind of signalized equipment needs to be posted there. They have a software program that has different factors by which they weigh each crossing in the state annually. It's based on traffic speed, vehicular traffic speed, number of lanes, frequency, number of cars per day, as well as the track speed, train speed, frequency of trains, and the number of incidents that have occurred in the past at that location. And it kind of does a computation on the probability of the likelihood of another incident occurring at that particular crossing. And based on all those factors, they determine which crossings in the state are to receive federal funding. Exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. And they decide what kind, whether it needs to be 2 gates or 4 gates, whether it should be flashing lights or bells and lights, whether it needs cantilevers based on it being maybe a 4-lane divided highway or not. And they can let you know. For any grade crossing that has warning devices, we call that an active grade crossing. Those which just have the crossbucks, which is the white X that says railroad crossing, that's considered a passive crossing. Any local government can at any time contract with the railroad and pay to have signals installed at a crossing. It's based on the owner of the roadway. So if it's a county road, then the county would contact us. If it's a city road, the city can contact us. And the railroad will work with you to determine what needs to be there. We will engage ALDOT to be a party to that negotiation and can install at your request. You can purchase warning devices at any crossing. And just for your information, it's about $250,000 to $400,000. That's about what it costs for all the electronics.
And we've got one crossing down here on Norton that I think we did contact the railroad about, and they came and looked at it. And because of the school there, I think they determined that it's probably better not to have a signal there. But we
and that is another item. You remind me, school bus routes.
Yes.
Sometimes impact by the activity. Sir.
I think we'd love to be able to go into that school and talk to those kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, Miss Jane, Miss Denise, right? Got your name right. They've got contact information on me. If you have the 40 city brochure, my contact information is on the back. Ran out of cards yesterday, so sorry. But it's all there on the back. So if you have kids, grandkids in schools, you'd like to bring this to their school, companies, businesses, give us a call because we want to be able to help Sylacauga not have crashes. So thank you.
Thank you.